Well, this weekend marked the 50th anniversary of the iconic Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. And the country's top leaders took part in that emotional, historic, and deeply meaningful march along the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where the historic Bloody Sunday demonstration took place back in 1965. You know, that's when the Alabama state troopers and others set upon and assaulted those protesters, demanding full voting rights for African Americans. We'll take a look at the New York Times coverage of the recreation of the march Saturday. It included that front page picture of President Obama, his family, and other civil rights leaders. But guess what? The Times cropped out some other notable guests, including President George W. Bush and the former First Lady. Oversight or on purpose? Deneen Borelli, Outreach Director of FreedomWorks and Fox News contributor, and Basil Smikle joins us, President and founder of Basil Smikle Associates, adjunct professor at Columbia University and contributor for The Hill. Basil and Deneen, welcome. Deneen, I mean, you read the New York Times, you would know that former President Bush was there. Take a look. This is the front page. Look who's peeking out. Look who's peeking out behind the president. Camera hog Al Sharpton is right, like peeking out, but there's no former President Bush.
Right.
What about that?
Well, I think this is a stunning example of media bias. The New York Times, you know, with the photograph and also the article that was written in the newspaper, it's propaganda, and they're trying to claim that racism is rampant in America and that blacks can't get ahead because of racism. And it's an outright lie.
Basil, do you think so too?
First of all, the peek out by Reverend Sharpton, it was classic. I actually chuckled when I saw that. Listen, even as a Democrat, I think I would like to have seen former President Bush in the photo. I was a former advanced person for the Clinton White House, and part of, I think, the problem was the way that was staged. I think that both presidents should have been closer together, because that's what's meaningful. A black president, a white president, one from the South, one from the North, who you know, is telling the story together with some of the people who were in the original march.
Well, as a White House advance person, wouldn't that be the job of the White House advance people, to make sure that both presidents, you have a former chief executive, is standing with the current chief executive? Well, do you think they did that on purpose? Do you think the current White House told Mr. Bush to get out of there, or didn't even say, come over here, walk with the current president?
I don't know if it was so much as to say, get out of here, but it's really about framing that shot. And it seems like what they wanted to have was the president with the current president with his family, Congressman Lewis, together. And it didn't seem like they wanted the former president to be able, in that story, to be part of that story. Or
these things like, I mean, you can't tell the former president what to do or to stand. It just happened that way.
One word: technology. They could have made it happen. This was the front page of the New York Times. They could have made it happen. But again, I do think this is media bias, and also what they wrote about in the stories. It was a focus on Ferguson. Why didn't they talk about how the investigation ruled that it wasn't an issue about race? But that wasn't what they reported on.
Well, not only that, look at here's the article right here, and I circled some stuff here. Here's the front. It says President Obama and a host of political figures from both parties. It doesn't say President Bush. And then down here it says the nation's first African-American president led a bipartisan, biracial testimonial to the pioneers. It doesn't say anything about President Bush. And let's go on page 15. You got to go on page 15, folks. This is 12 paragraphs into the story here in the New York Times. And take a look at this right now. Way down here on the, let's have the camera come back over here. It's down here. It says on Saturday, joining Mr. Obama was former President George W. Bush. 12 paragraphs in on page 15.
Of a front page story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that say it all to you, or do you think they...
Well, again, I think it's media bias. And, you know, listen, black Americans have made significant strides. The two of us are sitting here. You have a long title behind your name. And listen, we can talk about what we've gone through over the years to get to where we are today, taking risks, but opportunities are there and they are available. It's about hard work, perseverance. I think a lot of individuals are shooting themselves in the foot with all these opportunities, not graduating from high school or out of wedlock births. A lot of it is on the individual.
Yes, but some of it is also structural, and I think one of the things that that President Obama said in his speech is that we have to address when those structures have been failing us, whether it's accumulation of wealth in the African American community, whether it is graduating from high school and an opportunity to get good jobs. A lot of that intergenerational wealth that doesn't really exist in our communities. There's still some structural problems that need to be addressed, but we're getting better. We're moving forward.
And it was a poignant and deeply meaningful recreation, especially when you see John Lewis, who was interviewed on Fox News Sunday. I mean, just history alive and still with us.
Yeah, well, 50 years, great achievements since then, and I just think the media should do a better job of reporting the great strides that Americans have made, especially in Black Americans.
Deneen and Basil, thank you so much.
Thank you.